Hey, if you haven't seen my channel before, don't know who I am, my name is Jules Cannon, aka Julian Buchanan. In the past, nearly a couple of years, I've been on a pretty long roller coaster, and I haven't really talked about my pro wrestling for a long time, especially the status of myself. And I'm sure if you guys have been following along, you would have seen this video. Hey everybody, I just want to say thank you for clicking on this video and showing. This is going to be a pretty long video because this is something I should have covered probably from the start. It's been very hard to sort of talk about these things, you know, whether you're a close friend or family. These are things that you probably don't know either. I've kept this really to myself as much as I can. Just because I would have never expected the journey this would have taken me on. So many setbacks, more than I was prepared to willing to go through, and it definitely has broken my spirit the past year. But I'm here today to just talk about everything for the past year and what is actually going on with the status of my career and my life, and whether I'm going to wrestle again or not. I mean, there's a lot to unfold. I appreciate you if you're watching the video and going to watch this whole thing. There's so much to explain, and I have wanted to talk about things, but when things take such a back step over and over and over again and you don't have any idea what's going on, it's very hard to address those things until they're resolved or there's more of a clear path. Right now, I feel like I have the best direction with what's going on with my life. Got my whiteboard here, got my iPad just for some notes. You know, I started my professional wrestling career at the age of 15. And it's something that I've always loved wrestling since the age of 4, you know. It's been such a big part of my identity, and it's been such a hard thing to step away, especially forced. Which is just mind-blowing. I'm now the age of 25, and looking back, starting at the age of 15, man, I would have never anticipated where my career would have gone, the people I would have met, the opportunities I would have had. Just, it's been amazing, and I don't regret a thing. And I've been very lucky, and I haven't been injured for a long time, and obviously I'm right now a living example of what it means to pay the price of being a pro wrestler. I mean, we use our bodies to do what we do, you know. And this issue started back in November 2023, the 18th of November to be exact. I'll put a little bit of footage up on the screen right now. As you can see, I was doing a Spanish fly. I mean, pro wrestlers, coaches, if you want to nitpick and watch the footage back, I mean, I haven't really seen much of a botch or issue that would have caused that. And I mean, this is a very hard thing. What caused these sort of issues? I think it was just wear and tear over the years, especially starting this at a young age. It can be a lot of factors as well. It can be manual laboring that I was doing in my personal career. But anyway, I tore my knee November 18th, 2023. And after the match, I pretty much collapsed backstage. Thank you to everyone at War. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better locker room, and just I had the best support possible. I ended up going to the hospital. I believe it was either that night or the next morning. I was pretty stubborn, and I wanted to see how it would go, because I mean, I was sort of walking, and I had never got an injury this bad before. But obviously, it was much worse than I thought. Struggling to really walk after that. I was straight on the crutches. The issue at the start was I should have really got an MRI scan on my knee, and I didn't have the knowledge to go out and do that. And I did the x-ray, it showed some tears, nothing too major. They just said to me, if it's still hurting after a month or two, then, seek some support from a hospital back in Perth. And so they gave me some crutches and sent me back, and I went back to Perth on crutches. Still doing manual labouring after a month. I started going back to training, and I started basically doing workout and diet plan. Basically, I wasn't really feeling any pain, and I couldn't register what was going on with my knee at the time. So at the time, I thought everything was going all right. I'm hitting the gym pretty hard, hitting my, my physical job, doing training. I was doing everything really to the limits that I could handle, and I was handling it quite well. So I ended up having another match back in Queensland. Everything seemed to be going all right. April 13th of 2024, I was going into the match pretty much getting to the best shape of my life, working a full-time job, going to the gym consistently, diet consistently. My wrestling performance was definitely doing really good, but I ended up tearing my knee again. And it ended up being the other knee this time, and I wasn't really too sure where I tore my knee. I'll pull out the footage where I believe I did on the backflip, but I'm pretty uncertain because I did walk backstage this time, and obviously the locker room definitely was supportive and had my back straight away. But this was a pretty big deal this time. I didn't need crutches, and I went home and I was pretty good, and I was able to do everything fine, but I could just feel a lot of pain in my knee once I went back to Perth, and it just didn't go away. So I knew it was pretty serious. I knew it must have been a tear like my left knee, and I went out of my way to get an MRI scan done. I decided to get one on my left knee just to check how that's going, and because everything felt pretty fine, but I got my results back, and basically my left knee was still torn. It had bucket flapped, teared. Basically, like, my meniscus had torn so much that it would flap back and forward like that. And my right knee had a history of tearing and scarring in the MCL, which, it's probably going to happen when you're a pro wrestler. But my right knee meniscus, it wasn't as bad as my left, but the plan basically after that was to get surgery done. Going into my first surgery last year, September 1st, the day of the surgery, the plan was to do a meniscus repair on my left knee and then do a keyhole, sort of cleaning up any torn tissue and stuff like that in my right knee. That morning of the surgery, the surgeon had decided to drop the right knee just to support the left knee and have a recovery focus on the left knee, and after about 6 months maybe go back in and check the right knee out and do a bit of a cleanup. And I was pretty positive going into this. It was hard to let go of everything, but I was still showing up at EPW, and I still had I had people reaching out and was there for me, which was really nice, and I couldn't thank anyone more than I can, it's a hard situation. But I had the surgery and it looked like it was a success. I had, I believe it was 9 hooks put in to my left knee, ankle hooks. So after the surgery, I spent about 6-8 weeks with crutches, another 6 weeks on braces, and then the plan was to do physio through the hospital, which was interesting. I had an entire team at this point with the hospital talking and negotiating, and physio was doing pretty good. I was able to fully bend my knee again. I was able to walk on my knee, and it seemed like things were going in the right direction. I was able to keep my job, my full-time job. I walked in with crutches, and I mean, I still try to do life the same or as much as I could. And the plan was to do a sports athletes test basically in the next year, 2025. We got closer to the physio meetings. I mean, we added more and more things at the gym, and I mean, I was grinding away. I mean, I tried to put everything into recovery, but I started to find that my right knee started playing up, and I had this really guilty, bad feeling, that the right knee should have been done at the same time. As time progressed through January, February, March of 2025 of this year, I felt like my right knee had become worse than my left knee, to a point where I was building the strength back in my left one. But when it came to April to do my sports test, the only issue I had was I had a lot of shaking in my nerves, so I had to do workouts and exercises to build basically the signals from my brain to my knee. I needed to work on that with my body. I had an issue. Nothing dramatic, nothing that's going to set me back too far. But when it came to the actual sports test day in April, my right knee had performed worse than my left knee, which was quite shocking, especially to the physio and the hospital team. And then and there, that's when life changed. That was when I couldn't do physio anymore because it was no longer safe. I couldn't do any really exercises at the gym anymore. There was really no point in me going training anymore with me not knowing what my future was. And I mean, a lot of things changed. And from April till now, it has been such a roller coaster, being left in the dark with a lot of the information going on, not knowing what is going on, and it's definitely had a huge impact on my mental health. Slowly watching things disappear and get worse and worse. So basically, talked to the team at the hospital, and the plan was to do MRI scans on both knees to check them both out, because the left one should have probably been healed by now in April of this year, and the right knee shouldn't be hurting. And so I got my MRI scan results come back. I've got a lot of torn tissues and torn ligaments. I might put some of the stuff on the screen because this is really, these are words that I've never sort of said before, and I've had to learn a lot about my knee. But basically, that's a scan of my right knee, and basically on my left knee, you can sort of see an idea what's going on in my left knee. Between April, May, June, it had taken 3 months to finally get all the MRI results, so it did take a long time. And during that time, once I found out my knee had got worse, I had to make the right call. And I mean, I wasn't going to be able to work a full-time job to what I could anymore, and I had to leave my job. I mean, that was something that was mutually spoken about with me and my boss. Something very hard to walk away from my first full-time job, and I mean, I'm still unemployed. Not much that I can physically do. I'm at a point now where it is hard to walk. In general, it's hard to walk. It's hard to get up and do things. It's hard to even bend over. I haven't even done a squat rack at the gym for over a year. I was doing 10,000 step count a year ago, and now I basically can't really do any cardio. And After all this MRI results finally came back in late June to July, I had been told that my surgeon had left my team that had done the surgery. This time I'm getting a sports surgeon, which I'm very excited and happy for, and very nervous to have somebody new touch my knee and have a different person. I've got different members on my team, and it's become such a big thing in the hospital for me now. But basically, I was advised not to lift anything 10 kilos in the gym anymore. I basically can't really do anything leg related, and that goes into so many other things like your back workouts and just standard things of life. A month ago, and the decision was made to sort of have a look at my hips and do some scans of my own body and x-rays, and just to make sure this surgery is going to go well, because I've torn more tendons since my last surgery, which is not a good thing. And that can only be caused from my own tissues not recovering the right way, or possibly my last job. And it's very hard to tell. No one can really give me an answer at the hospital. No one's really too sure how it got worse. But basically, I was given a couple of choices for my next surgery. The plan is they want to do a meniscus repair again on my left knee. They want to take all the hooks out and screws from my last surgery and redo the surgery, and hopefully do it better this time, with possibly doing an ACL, full knee reconstruction, depending on how it's going to go. So the two options that I had got was I could choose to do the left knee again, give it 6 months, and do my right knee meniscus repair. Basically the same surgery, but on the outer side of my knee. My left knee is on the inner side of my leg. So the second option was they could get both done, and I'll basically be in a wheelchair for a couple months, be with crutches for, about a month and a half, and braces for another month and a half. And at this point, I'm 25 years old, and I don't want to go through this anymore. I want to tap out. I've had enough of waiting, and I'm willing to just put myself whatever I have to. And I have this gut feeling that the best choice for me, and that I've chosen, is to go in a wheelchair. It's quite scary, especially I probably won't be able to walk unassisted without braces or crutches or wheelchair till maybe February next year, and that's a pretty scary thing. So what's this mean for my professional wrestling career? Since it's been a long time since I've addressed anything. And basically, I'm obviously not going to be able to wrestle this year. I'm not going to be able to wrestle next year. And I don't know if I'll be able to wrestle again. I won't know until this surgery is done and I'm walking again, and over a year from now, how my legs are doing and how I'm doing in life. As much as I'm fighting to want to have a wrestling career again, I'm also fighting to have my life back. I'm just fighting to be a 25-year-old. I'm so grateful for this life that I have, and I took a lot of things for granted, just simple things of life, and you never would unless you're going through a situation like this. Then you realize. And it's been very hard for me to talk about this, and I've had so many reasons, even not to do with my injury, to give up on even wanting to hope and try and have faith. But it is so cheesy, but I've always looked up to John Cena growing up, and his never give up attitude The way he comes back from injuries and recovery is what's inspiring me right now. And in about a week's time from now, I'll be in the hospital having my surgery. I also bought some wrestling tickets to go see the WWE, to go see John Cena's, final run. Choosing to be in a wheelchair, I'm going to have to go to this event in a wheelchair. I'm terrified of this, and I'm pretty scared, but I know in my heart I'm doing the right thing, and I know I've got to do what I've got to do to get my life back and fight. So thank you for anyone that's gone this far into the video, for any other pro wrestlers or my family or friends, or if you're watching this for the first time and don't know who I am, thank you for wanting to show that support. I've had people reach out, and I should have talked about this a long time ago and been more open, but all I can say is thank you, and hopefully I will get my life back. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. This has to be one of the hardest things I've ever done, just sitting here and talking about this. I've been avoiding filming and talking about this for such a long time, and it's good to finally get this off my chest and be open with you guys, and I hope it can be some sort of an example that if I can go through all of this and get to the other side, that you don't give up either, and you fight for whatever you're fighting through in life, and you get through to the other side. Man, no matter how long this is going to take, I'm never going to give up.